electromagnetic spectrum.
Radio waves, what's on TV tonight? In microwaves, they will cook your popcorn. From body light that's infrared comes from you and me. You can see visible light colors galore. Not shady ultraviolet rays can give you a suntan, and then X-rays. Look at phones if you want, and there be shortest of them all are the gamma rays. All together it's the EM spectrum.
Radio radiation, electromagnetic.
Hello, good morning class. This is your science teacher, Ma'am Tanyah Bernardo. So last time we discussed the measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion. So I already discussed how to get the mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviation. So this time we will going to discuss a new topic, which is the electromagnetic waves and electromagnetic spectrum. Okay class, so let us proceed to our topic, which is the electromagnetic waves. Okay, so what is electromagnetic waves class? So current is the net amount of charge that flows through a conductor such as wire. So ibig sabihin class, so papaano ba nagtatravel yung waves ng electromagnetic? So through a conductor such as yung mga wire. Okay, so when charges flow through a wire, a magnetic field is created around the wire. So nabubuo na yung magnetic field natin. For straight current carrying wires, the magnetic field lines circle around the wire as shown in figure 4.2. Okay, so nakita natin yung direction ng magnetic field. Nakaloop na dun sa wire. Okay, so this is the electric charge, yung negative sign na nakikita nyo. And this is the wire. Ito yung wire, yung haba na yan. And this is the path of the charge. Okay? So next, so there are persons involved here in the electromagnetic waves. Okay? So first person we have Michael Faraday. So Michael Faraday experimented how a changing magnetic field can induce current. Okay? So si Michael Faraday po ay nag-eksperimento. Kung papaano ba magkakaroon ng pagbabago sa magnetic field. Okay? So, he believed that electromagnetic waves are propagated by both electric and magnetic field. So, naniniwala itong si Michael Faraday na may relasyon or there is a relationship doon sa pagitan ng electric at ng magnetic field. Kasi class, kung mapapansin natin saan ba gawa itong yung magnet na ito. Okay? Ito po ay gawa sa bato. Okay? Kapag, or yung lodestone na tinatawag. So, nagkaroon ng magnetic field which is the north and the south pole. Kaya, kapag nagsama yung electric at yung magnetic field, gagana na at magkakaroon na ng current. Next, we have James Clerk Maxwell. Okay? He is a Scottish physicist, based his research largely on Faraday's speculation. Yung kay James Clerk Maxwell na paniniwala ay nakabase doon sa mga research ni Michael Faraday. Maxwell came up with the mathematical equations that relate how electric and magnetic fields can link together. Sabi ko nga kanina, there is a link between the two, yung electric at yung magnetic field. Okay. So, anong sabi ko kanina, electric and magnetic field can link together to form an electromagnetic field. Okay? Next, we have another is that James Clerk Maxwell calculated that the speed of the EM waves is 3 times 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Okay, so kung gagamitin natin yung 3 times 10 raised to 8 na yan, 3, and then sulat lang natin yung dahil siya ay 10 raised to 8, so ibig sabihin niya ay positive. So 3, tapos dagdagan natin ng 8. Okay. So meron tayong mabubuo na 300 million meter per second, which is the same speed of light in a vacuum. So this made him conclude that light is an electromagnetic wave. So electromagnetic waves can travel through vacuum at this speed. So as the density of this medium increases, the speed of propagation decreases. So kung yung density na yun ay tumaas, so nagbabago din yung propagation ng nung bilis, yung speed. So siya ay bumababa. So it can be computed using the formula. So meron tayong formula dito, which is frequency, or F is equals to the number of wave cycles over unit of time. Okay? So mamaya, malalaman natin kung paano ba kunin yung wavelength niya and then yung speed. Next, the unit for frequency is per second. No? So yung unit ng frequency natin is per second, or yung S is raised to negative 1, or hertz. Yung second in hertz ay iisa po. So it named after Heinrich Hertz. So he is a German physicist who first discovered the existence of electromagnetic waves, which was first proven by Maxwell. Okay, dito na, pumasok na dito si Heinrich Hertz. Okay, so this time, paano ba makukuha yung period or yung time? So time is equals to, or T is equals to 1 over frequency, or F. No? We'll repeat, T is equals to 1 over frequency. Okay? So the motion of a wave can also be described based on its speed. Base dun sa bilis. The relationship between the speed of the wave and its frequency is given by the equation. How about yung pagkuha ng speed? So wave speed is equals to wavelength times frequency, or yung F. Okay? So therefore, pwede natin siyang makuha sa ganitong symbol. Okay? So wave speed is equals to wavelength times frequency. Okay, class. So now, let me show you the solution.
Okay, class. So we have an example here. A radio wave has a frequency of 1 times 10 raised to 6 Hz. The question is, what is the wavelength? Okay, so we derived the formula. Kinuha natin yung wavelength niya. So therefore, the formula is wavelength is equals to wave speed over frequency. So gamitin natin yung 3 times 10 raised to 8 meter per second doon sa EM speed. Kuhanin natin yung 3 times 10 raised to 8 meter per second, which is given na doon sa EM speed. Ito yung EM speed niya, given na yan. So therefore, ang ating naging frequency ay 1 times 10. Sulat natin. We have, yung wave speed, we have 3 times 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Over, ang ating frequency ay 1 times 10 raised to 6 Hz. Okay, class. So, how are we going to solve this? Okay, class. So, ganito po yan para makuha natin yung sagot. Ayan. So, 3 times 10 raised to 8. Gumamit tayo ng scientific notation. Okay? Ilang zero yung kailangan natin? Okay, kailangan natin ng 8. So, siya ay positive, therefore, ang kanyang zero ay sa. So, we have 3. Sulat natin, then, ilan yung ating magiging zero? Okay, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we have 8. Check natin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yan yung ating 10 raised to 8. Don't forget the unit, meter per second, over, ilan yung ating 1 times 10 raised to 6, ilan ang ating magiging 0 dito? Okay, very good. We have 6. So, sulat natin yung 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Therefore, we have 1 million hertz, yung ating unit. Okay, class, paano tayo magka-cancel dyan? No? Dahil siya meter per second, and then yung isa ay hertz. Okay, so, binanggit doon sa una nating discussion in the electromagnetic waves, ang second raised to negative 1 and hertz po ay iisa. Okay? Iisa lamang siya. Therefore, alin ang makakancel na unit? So, makakancel na unit ay sila pareho. Okay, hertz and then second. Therefore, ang matitira ay si meter. Okay, so therefore, 300 million divided by 1 million, the answer is, okay, we have 300 meter. Okay, so the answer is 300 meter, class. Okay, so did you understand, class?
So now, class, let us proceed to the electromagnetic spectrum. So electromagnetic spectrum, it is made up of many types of light. So iba't ibang kulay, ano yung nandito sa electromagnetic spectrum, which differ in their wavelength, frequency, and energy. So in that light, class, okay, so meron po tayo ditong picture. So in this electromagnetic spectrum, magkakaiba po sila ng kulay. At mamaya, malalaman natin, ano, okay. So the EM spectrum is the entire range of EM waves in order of increasing frequency and decreasing wavelength. Okay? And also, class, yan. It is, the electromagnetic spectrum is the range of all types of EM radiation. Okay? So, kapag naalala natin or nakita natin yung word na radiation, so, di pa naman kapag tayo ay na-expose sa isang uri ng bagay, lalo na yung mga gadgets natin. So, yung radiation pa lang na nakukuha natin, ayan na, kabilang siya dyan sa electromagnetic na tinatawag. So, radiation is the energy that travels and spreads out as it goes. The visible light that comes from a lamp in your house. So, isa dyan yung visible light, mamaya madidiscuss natin, na meron tayo sa ating bahay, yung radio natin, which is the radio waves that come from a radio station, are two types of electromagnetic radiation. Yan pala yung mga dalawang bagay na pinanggagalingan ng radiation. Okay? So, other types of EM radiation that make up the electromagnetic spectrum are microwaves, infrared light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, and gamma rays. Okay, next. So, what are the things to remember? Okay? So, number 1, class, the higher the frequency, the more energy the wave has. Okay? Pagtaas daw ng frequency ay mas maraming energy yung dala ng spectrum na yon. Okay? Next, EM waves do not require media in which to travel or move. So, hindi daw kailangan ng anumang uri ng media para mag-travel yung electromagnetic waves. Next, EM waves are considered to be transverse waves because they are made of vibrating electric and magnetic fields at right angles to each other and to the direction the waves are traveling. Now, yung transverse waves na tinatawag, this is made up of vibrating electric. Kasama dyan yung magnetic fields. Then, inverse relationship between wave size and frequency. As wavelengths get smaller, frequencies get higher. Kaya pagbaba ng wavelengths, pagtaas ng frequency. Okay po? So, next, punta tayo dito. The first spectrum, we have radio waves. So, what is this radio waves, class? Okay, class. So, radio waves have the longest wavelengths and the lowest frequencies. So, wavelengths range from 1 to 10 meter. So these waves have frequencies ranging from 500 Hz to about 1,000 MHz. Ano? Itong MHz na to, this is the megahertz. Ano? Na kanina diniscuss natin in the electromagnetic waves. Okay. So radio waves po class, used in radar, cooking food, satellite. Yan yung mga kadalasan or yan yung mga sakop ng radio waves. So, di ba, bakit tayo nakakapanood ng TV? Dahil po dun sa mga satellite. Ano po? And then, of course, kasama dyan yung mga ginagamit natin sa pagluluto. At isa pa ay yung mga radio. Okay? So, radio waves class, it is commonly used to transmit information such as in television, sounds and images from broadcasting stations are transmitted to TV screens through radio waves. Ayan. So, sabi ko kanina, dahil nga tayo ay nakakapanood ng TV, dahil po yun dun sa satellite. So, nai-transmit nito yung mga yung mga nakikita natin sa palabas, yung kanyang sounds, and yung kanyang mga images. Okay? So, isa pa po, ang radio waves ay nakakatulong sa atin para tayo ay maka-communicate. So, another class, mobile phones use microwave energy. We know that microwaves can cook food, tama? So, ginagamit natin yung microwave na meron tayo sa ating mga bahay, yung oven, para tayo ay makapagluto. Okay, so let us proceed to the question. So, can a mobile phone cause heating? Yan. Yun ba daw mga cellphone natin na ginagamit sa pagtawag, pag-text? Ayan. So, yan daw ba ay nakaka-cause ng heat? Okay, class. So, the answer is yes. Okay po. So, ito po ay nakaka-apekto hindi lamang doon sa ating, syempre kapag nagte-text tayo, ang ginagamit natin ay yung ating mga kamay. But then class, hindi lamang pala yung kamay ang naaapektuhan natin. Hindi lamang pala yung kamay ang nakaka-absorb ng mga radiation. Okay? Alin pa kaya? Now, let us take a look. No? Yan. So, ito palang ating brain. Yung part na yan ng ating brain po ay nakaka-absorb din ng mga radiation. Bakit? Kapag tayo ay nakababad sa cellphone, tayo po ay nakatutok at yung ating cellphone ay nasa may tenga natin, ayan. So, ito pala ay nakaka-cause ng radiation. Okay, class? So, radiation to the brain can also have side effects, class. So, kapag po tayo ay nakababad sa paggamit ng cellphone, ano yung mga serious problem na pwede nating makuha? Okay. So, dahil nga tayo nakababad sa paggamit ng cellphone, pwede pala na ito ay maging cause ng memory loss. Ano pa? Pwede itong maging sanhi ng stroke-like symptoms and poor brain function. Kaya po tayo ay hindi nakakapag-isip minsan ng maayos dahil yung palang paggamit pa lang ng ating gadget sa araw-araw po ay nakakahina ng ating utak. Kasi nakatutok yung ating mata doon sa cellphone. Kung ikaw ay gumagamit ng cellphone, nagsimula ka ay 8 a.m. in the morning at natapos ka ng 4 p.m. So, madami ng radiation yung na-absorb ng iyong utak. Okay? Yan pa lang ay doon sa mga paggamit ng cellphone. So, how many temperature? We have 0.2 degrees Celsius. Wala tayong nakukuha na 0.2 degrees Celsius na radiation sa ating brain. Okay? So, kapag pala araw-araw gumagamit tayo ng cellphone at nagbababad tayo, so, mas padami pa ng padami yung radiation na nakukuha natin. Okay? Ang 0.2 degrees Celsius po ay napaka-init na. Okay, next we have the infrared. Okay? So, what is infrared class? So, infrared waves class have a shorter wavelength from 0.001 meter to 700 nanometer, and therefore a higher frequency. used for finding people in the dark and in TV remote control devices. So, yung mga infrared po natin, yung mga example natin ay yung remote control na ginagamit natin sa panonood ng TV. And yung isa pa ay the flashlight. Ano ba yung ginagamit sa paghahanap ng tao pag nasa dilim? So, we use the flashlight. Okay, next. Ayan. So, visible light wavelengths range from 700 nanometer, red light, yung kulay niya, to 30 nanometer violet light, with frequencies higher than infrared waves. So, these are the waves in the EM spectrum that humans can see. Ito yung mga kulay na nakikita natin in the EM spectrum. Okay. Visible light waves are a very small part of the EM spectrum. Napakaliit lang niya, yung visible light. So, 4 infrared waves exist in the form of heat or thermal radiation. Kagaya ng sa radio waves, itong infrared po ay nagkakos ng radiation. Heat given off by warm or hot objects. Diba kapag tayo ay nanonood ng TV, we use the remote control pa. Okay? So, yung heat na na-absorb ng ating katawan, especially sa ating kamay. Pero, kagaya niyan, meron pa tayong binanggit dito, such as yung mga bonfire, charcoal, and the sun is example of infrared. IR waves are also emitted by the body. The warmer the object, the more infrared it emits. So, kung pag-init daw ng isang bagay, mas madami yung ilalabas niya na radiation. Yan. Halimbawa, gumagamit tayo ng laptop. Ayan, ilang oras din tayo gumagamit ng laptop. So, yun din po ay nag-i-emit ng infrared. Okay? So, next, we have the example. Ano ba itong mga infrared na ginagamit natin sa ating bahay? We have a lamp. Ayan, so ginagamit natin yan. At yan po ay nagkakos ng infrared radiation. Next, yung remote control na meron tayo. Laptop na ginagamit natin kapag tayo ay may mga gagawin. Ayan. So, yan po pala ay nag-i-emit din ng infrared. Next, we have the visible. Okay? So, visible spectrum, the visible light spectrum is the segment of the electromagnetic spectrum that the human eye can view. More simply, this range of wavelengths is called visible light. Typically, the human eye can detect wavelengths from 380 to 700 nanometers. For example, the sun produces visible light. Incandescent light bulbs, yung mga fluorescent and neon lights, are other examples of visible light that we may see on a regular basis. Kapag tayo ay napapatingin sa fluorescent lamp or sa fluorescent light, ayan, nakikita natin na masakit sa mata. Ayan. At siya po ay nagpo-produce ng radiation din. Okay? So, visible light is probably the most important of all electromagnetic waves for most of us. Ayan. Ito daw yung pinakang-importanting part ng electromagnetic waves na atin ginagamit. Itong visible light. Okay? Okay, class. So, we have an example here. Ito po ay, it is a type of laser na ginagamit. For example, tayo ay nagpapaganda ng mga skin. Ayan. So, gumagamit ng laser minsan sa ating mga mukha. Okay. So, another is that, ayan. Ito pong endoscopy na to, ayan. It is the insertion of a long thin tube directly into the body to observe an internal organ or tissue in detail. Okay? So, it can also be used to carry out the other tasks including imaging and minor surgery. Kapag po yung halimbawa ay itong digestive system, may problema siya. Okay. So, anong ginagawa? Ito ay sinusuot dun sa bibig. Itong mahabang parang hose na yan, sinusuot yan sa bibig hanggang sa makarating doon sa small intestine kung saan may problema para makita yung loob ng intestine mo. Halimbawa, kapag ang isa ay may problema sa esophagus o di kaya ay sa stomach niya, makikita doon sa loob kung saang part may problema. Okay? So, ganyan yung ginagawa. Okay? Ayan. So, in this picture, yan, nakita na nandun pala yung problema. Ayan. No? So, napakagaling ng endoscopy class. No? But kahit po ito ay nag-i-emit ng radiation, ito ay nakakatulong din naman sa katawan. Ayan. So, endoscopy with a camera peel. Ayan. No? Ito yan. So, nakikita yung loob ng stomach. Ayan. On the right is an X-ray movie showing a pill which has been swallowed, which contains a camera. So, meron po yung camera para makita yung hitsura niya sa loob. So, it passes through the gut, taking a movie which is sent to a receiver outside the body, shown on the left. So, nung makita sa camera, ganito pala ang hitsura. Okay? Next, scanning laser ophthalmoscope. Ito naman po ay sa mata. Ayan. So, ganyan pala ang hitsura ng kapag in-scan natin gamit yung laser, makikita ng ophthalmologist na ganito pala yung hitsura ng sa loob ng mata. No? Next is the ultraviolet. Ayan. So, ultraviolet light wavelengths range from 400 nanometer to 10 nanometer. So, the frequency and therefore the energy is high enough with UV rays to penetrate living cells and cause them damage. Ayan. So, from the word ultraviolet, alam kong narinig na to. Yung mga ultraviolet radiation na nakukuha natin sa araw. Ayan. So, kapag pala class, tayo po ay nakaka-receive ng high UV rays sa ating katawan, ito pala ay nakaka-penetrate para ma-damage yung ating balat. And for example class, kapag po tayo ay laging nakababad for example, naliligo tayo sa dagat at sobra yung init ng araw at nakatutok sa'yo, so it can damage your skin. Ayan, pwedeng makakause siya ng sunburn. As you can see in this picture, no? So, although we cannot see UV light, bees, bats, and butterflies, some small rodents and birds can. Pwedeng itong mga bees na to, yung mga bats, nakikita nila yung mga ultraviolet light. No? The UV on our skin produces vitamin D in our bodies. So, nagpo-produce din siya ng vitamin D. Kaya nga, pag naman nasobrahan tayo ng absorb ng UV light, so it can cause sunburn. Too much UV can lead to sunburn and skin cancer. Yan, lalo na yung may mga sakit sa balat. Ayan. So, yung may mga skin cancer po, dapat hindi sila nagtitigil sa labas ng bahay, lalo na kung mainit. UV rays are easily blocked by clothing. So, used for sterilization because they kill bacteria. Ayan. So, yung UV po ay ginagamit para makapatay ng mga bacteria. So, sterilization process na tinatawag. Next, we have the X-rays and the gamma rays. Okay. Nandun na tayo sa pinakang last. So, nandito na tayo sa pinakang last, which is the X-rays and the gamma rays. Yung pinakang matindi yung radiation. Okay po. So, X-rays wavelengths from 10 nanometer to 0.001 nanometer. These rays have enough energy to penetrate deep into tissues and cause damage to cells or stop by dense materials such as bone. Okay, class. Yeah. So, used to look at solid structures such as bones and bridges for procs and for treatment of cancer. Kapag po tayo, for example, naliligo sa CR, tapos nadulas. Ayan. So, may part ng katawan mo na napatama sa semento dahil nga madulas, nangyari, nag-crack yung buto mo. So, kailangan ipa-x-ray mo para makita kung nasa ang part yung may crack. Okay? Bakit nga ba kailangan ipa-x-ray? Para makita kung nasan yung damage doon sa katawan mo. Ano? Kahit na ito ay nag-i-emit ng radiation, ano? Okay? And, ayan, ginagawa natin yung mga x-ray geography na yan, ano? Yung pamamaga ng buto kapag ito ay minsan nade-dislocate, ayan. So, dapat ay magpa-x-ray, ano? Ayan. So, nakita natin yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa. Ayan, ito ay, yung kanyang buto ay namaga. And then, dito naman ay normal. Ano? Normal yung kanyang buto. So, next we have the gamma rays. So, gamma rays carry the most energy and have the shortest wavelengths, less than 1 trillionth of a meter. So, yung kanyang wavelength ay short. Okay, siya yung pinaka-shortest ang wavelength. But, then, ang gamma rays po, class, ang pinaka-matindi. Ano? Bakit? Kasi, gamma rays are released by nuclear reactions in nuclear power plants. Ito na yung mga gamma rays, ito na yung mga nasa power plants, yung mga paggawa ng mga bomba, ayan, by nuclear bombs and by naturally occurring elements on Earth. Ano, sometimes used in the treatment of cancers. But then, class, kahit na siya yung pinakang dangerous na energy na meron tayo, siya po ay nakakatulong naman, or gamma rays can also help to treat cancers. Ano? Ayan. Another is that gamma rays have enough energy to go through most materials easily. No? You would need a 3 to 4 feet thick concrete wall to stop them. So, kailangan daw natin ng 3 hanggang 4 na kapal ng dingding para mapigilan yung gamma rays. Okay? So, eto pong example ng gamma rays ay yung ginagamit sa pag-treat ng mga cancer. Ayan. Yung mga CT scan, pinapasok sa loob. Ayan. And then, yung CT scan po na yun ay nag-i-emit ng radiation na kailangan ng katawan mo. Okay? So, this picture is a centigram. Ayan. So, ito po, makikita natin na ito, nasa picture na to, it shows an asthmatic person's lungs. Ayan, yung red na yan. Kitang-kita. Okay? So, the patient was given a slightly radioactive gas to breathe, and the picture was taken using a gamma camera to detect the radiation. Ito yung nakuha. Ito yung nakuha ng camera. Pasok sila ng gamma camera para ma-detect nila yung radiation doon sa lungs. So, yung isang patient ay may asthma. And then, the color show the airflow in the lungs. Yan, yung mga ginagamit para gumaling ang isang patient. Ayan, radiotherapy ang tawag. At isa pa, radiotherapy, so sabi dito, cancer occurs when cells divide too quickly. Saan nakukuha ang cancer? Kapag yung cell mo ay hindi na healthy. The dividing cells become a tumor which can damage surrounding tissue or spread to the rest of the body. At napakabilis kumalat ng cancer sa katawan, lalo na kapag ito ay hindi naagapan. Okay? So, kung nagsimula siya sa isa, biglang ganyan na. And then, another is that X-rays or other radiation can damage the DNA in cells and kill them. Yan. Pwede palang masira ng X-ray, yung ating DNA sa cell. Okay? And, this is why radiation can be dangerous. Napakapanganib talaga ng radiation class. But cells which are dividing rapidly are more likely to be killed. Kung nagpa-x-ray ka kinabukasan or isang linggo lang, gumaling ka na, But then after 1 week, ayan na naman, nadapa ka, nahulog ka sa hagdan, yung braso mo ay nabalik, so nagpa-x-ray ka na naman. So too much exposure po ay nakaka-cause talaga ng radiation. Ano? So we use x-rays to kill the rapidly dividing cancer cells. Ayan. Gumagamit tayo ng x-ray para makita kung ano ba yung kung saang part may problema. And we must still ensure that healthy tissue is undamaged. Okay, class. So, enable for you to understand well this lesson. So, let's watch the video here.
Something surrounds you, bombards you, some of which you can't see, touch, or even feel. Every day, everywhere you go. It is odorless and tasteless, yet you use it and depend on it every hour of every day. Without it, the world you know could not exist. What is it? Electromagnetic radiation. These waves spread across a spectrum from very short gamma rays to X-rays, ultraviolet rays, visible light waves, even longer infrared waves, microwaves, to radio waves which can measure longer than a mountain range. This spectrum is the foundation of the information age and of our modern world. Your radio, remote control, text message, television, microwave oven, even a doctor's X-ray, all depend on waves within the electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic waves, or EM waves, are similar to ocean waves in that both are energy waves. They transmit energy. EM waves are produced by the vibration of charged particles and have electrical and magnetic properties. But unlike ocean waves that require water, EM waves travel through the vacuum of space at the constant speed of light. EM waves have crests and troughs like ocean waves. The distance between crests is the wavelength. While some EM wavelengths are very long and are measured in meters, many are tiny and are measured in billionths of a meter, nanometers. The number of these crests that pass a given point within 1 second is described as the frequency of the wave. One wave, or cycle, per second is called a hertz. Long EM waves, such as radio waves, have the lowest frequency and carry less energy. Adding energy increases the frequency of the wave and makes the wavelength shorter. Gamma rays are the shortest, highest energy waves in the spectrum. So, as you sit watching TV, not only are there visible light waves from the TV striking your eyes, but also radio waves transmitting from a nearby station, and microwaves carrying cell phone calls and text messages, and waves from your neighbor's Wi-Fi, and GPS units in the cars driving by. There is a chaos of waves from all across the spectrum passing through your room right now. With all these waves around you, how can you possibly watch your TV show? Similar to tuning a radio to a specific radio station, our eyes are tuned to a specific region of the EM spectrum and can detect energy with wavelengths from 400 to 700 nanometers, the visible light region of the spectrum. Objects appear to have color because EM waves interact with their molecules. Some wavelengths in the visible spectrum are reflected, and other wavelengths are absorbed. This leaf looks green because EM waves interact with the chlorophyll molecules. Waves between 492 and 577 nanometers in length are reflected, and our eye interprets this as the leaf being green. Our eyes see the leaf as green, but cannot tell us anything about how the leaf reflects ultraviolet, microwave, or infrared waves. To learn more about the world around us, scientists and engineers have devised ways to enable us to see beyond that sliver of the EM spectrum called visible light. Data from multiple wavelengths help scientists study all kinds of amazing phenomena on Earth, from seasonal change to specific habitats. Everything around us emits, reflects, and absorbs EM radiation differently based on its composition. A graph showing these interactions across a region of the EM spectrum is called a spectral signature. Characteristic patterns, like fingerprints within the spectra, allow astronomers to identify an object's chemical composition and to determine such physical properties as temperature and density. NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope observed the presence of water and organic molecules in a galaxy 3.2 billion light-years away. Viewing our Sun in multiple wavelengths with the SOHO satellite allows scientists to study and understand sunspots that are associated with solar flares and eruptions harmful to satellites, astronauts, and communications here on Earth. We are constantly learning more about our world and universe by taking advantage of the unique information contained in the different waves across the EM spectrum.
So, after watching the video class, what have you learned? Okay? So, we learned that exposure to a very high levels of radiation can cause acute health effects such as skin burns and acute radiation syndrome. Kaya po, kailangan kung tayo man ay lalabas ng bahay para hindi tayo ma-expose doon sa radiation na nanggagaling sa araw, so kailangan magdala ka lagi ng payong o ng umbrella para hindi mo ma-absorb yung sobrang init na nanggagaling sa araw. Pero, kailangan din naman natin ng vitamin D. Kailangan din naman natin yon para tayo ay maging masigla. Okay. So, but then, kapag sobra naman yung ating na-absorb sa ating katawan, ay hindi na rin maganda. Kaya nga, dapat ay hindi siya kulang, hindi siya sobra. So, dapat ay tama lang. So, dapat ay ganun din kapag tayo ay gumagamit ng cellphone. So, imbes na gamitin natin yung cellphone at ilalagay natin sa tainga, so, kailangan gumamit tayo ng headset para hindi sobra yung na-absorb ng ating brain. Kasi kapag sobra yung radiation na ma-absorb ng ating utak, baka hindi na ito makapag-function ng tama. Okay? Okay, class. So, I hope you learned something new today. Sa ating naging discussion. So, if you have any clarifications and if you have any questions, kindly message me. Okay, class? So, that's it for now and goodbye, class!